Now, I'm sure we've all heard about this by now, but this American guy was arrested in the DPRK, so let's watch. I have a couple of points to make, I guess, and a couple of questions, because the way the Young Turks are reporting this is kind of odd.
An American student who crossed the DMZ apparently also crossed the line with North Korean authorities and has been...
Now, this is my first, like, they've explained this for 7 seconds and I already have a question. He fucking crossed the DMZ? Are you kidding me? Really? I mean, was that supposed to be some kind of terrible joke? I mean, did he really cross the DMZ? Because I have not been able to confirm that one way or the other. They link to a BuzzFeed article, but it doesn't say that he crossed or didn't cross the DMZ. But do continue.
Detained. So the man was identified by KCNA, which KCNA is the Korea Central News Agency, which is their propaganda machine that...
It's their propaganda, like, whatever. Fuck you. I mean, why do you just need to insult a country? I mean, it's the state news agency.
Masquerades as news. So this man was identified...
Yeah, they fucking report what's going on. It's called news. I mean, the Young Turks, on the other hand, is an opinion show. It's not news.
Identified as University of Virginia student Warmbier Otto Frederick, quite a name, likely Otto Frederick Warmbier, as the agency often lists English language surnames first, according to the Associated Press.
Ooh, they're so weird. Why do they do that? I mean, plenty of countries do that.
And was said to have been arrested while perpetrating a hostile act against the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
Yeah, like, if he really fucking climbed over the border fence and, like, crossed the DMZ, then that would be a pretty hostile act, I have to admit.
So the report said Warmbier had entered the country under the guise of tourism with the purpose of breaking down the foundation of the single-minded unity of the Korean people and was operating under the connivance of the U.S. government.
Well, yeah, that's the typical rhetoric. I doubt that. Well, you can really never know, to be honest. I mean, because there have been plenty of instances of actual spies who go in there and actual, like there's plenty of documentaries where people sneak in under the guise of tourism to make propaganda slandering the North Korean government. So that happens. I'm not sure if this guy actually did that. But, like, this is... My biggest problem with this is that either these people reporting on this, either they're totally ignorant and really shitty journalists, or, I mean, either way they're really shitty journalists, because they're saying that he crossed the DMZ. You do not cross the DMZ. Nobody crosses the DMZ. Do you understand? Nobody crosses the DMZ. So if he really did that, then he's totally guilty. So if you don't understand that, then you're a totally shitty journalist. And if he didn't cross the DMZ, but you're saying that he did, then you're still a totally shitty journalist, and you're so ignorant that you don't understand that you don't cross the DMZ. This company, Young Pioneer Tours, it operates from China, and people come in from China. From China. They don't go through the DMZ. Because nobody goes through the DMZ.
I hope that what happens when you go to visit North Korea is there are two different options, like, and there's little boxes you check, like when you fly into different countries now, it's like tourism.
I mean, this is just going to be a bunch of shitty jokes, I'm sure.
Or business.
Yeah.
There it's like tourism, or you check breaking down the foundation of the single-minded unity of the Korean people. Like, I hope that's...
Yeah, very funny. Oh, that's a great screenshot.
I have to say, they're fairly poetic with their ridiculousness. Like, the way they word things is truly unique. The State Department is aware that the student has been detained. They tweeted, "We are aware of media reports. A U.S. citizen was detained in hashtag North Korea." I like that they hashtagged it. That's so weird.
I know, because they don't have an official Twitter account.
What the fuck does that matter? I don't have a fucking Twitter account.
Welfare news.
Get on it, Kim Jong.
It's one of State Department's highest priorities. Great. Glad you hashtag North Korea.
Yeah.
Trending now.
Yeah,
right.
I know.
I want to also show you guys a picture of this possible, terrorist spy, this
Now, I love this. Just take a look at this.
insidious character.
Ooh, he has a suit on and he smiles, therefore he couldn't possibly have done anything wrong. Are you fucking kidding me?
That's him.
Oh,
Otto
definitely.
Warmbier, student at University of Virginia.
Like, I have a university degree. I can get a suit and put it on and then smile in a picture and be all nice and then, okay, now I'm obviously innocent of all wrongdoing. And I'm not even saying that he did anything wrong, but you guys, I mean, if I'm trusting you, I don't know if I should, but if I'm taking your word for it, then he fucking crossed the DMZ. I mean, he's really lucky he didn't get shot. Like, remember the time when, like, that South Korean man crossed the DMZ? Or tried to? I mean, the South Koreans gunned him down. So, I'm pretty sure the North Koreans would do the same. I mean, apparently they didn't because he's still alive. But, yeah, I mean, have you ever tried to cross the US-Mexico border? Or, like, climb over the Berlin Wall or something like that? You don't cross countries' borders without permission like that if you don't want to get shot.
Virginia. This man is apparently infiltrating the
Look, University of
North
Virginia,
Korea.
I mean, Langley, if I can make that connection, I'm sure a person
This
who
is
is
who it's
also, as a demigod, is recognized as a demigod, could also make that connection themselves.
Who is recognized as a demigod? What are you talking about?
And by the way, what I'm talking about is actually fact. People in North Korea do genuinely think supreme leader, like Kim Jong-un, Kim Jong-il, Kim Il-sung, like, they are all descendants of gods.
They don't even believe in God. What are you talking about? You're an idiot.
They were born under a double rainbow.
Ah, you're so stupid. Like, this is like this vaguely borderline racist shit. That's not literal, okay? It's not literal. It's poetic. It's a metaphor.
The first time
That's
Kim
a legitimate thing.
No. These are all legitimate things. Now I have
No, they're not.
North Korea is fascinating to me. I take this very personally. I have extensive hours and hours of North Korean documentaries that I've watched.
Which are all mostly bullshit, so congratulations.
These documentaries. And
No, so what I was trying to say is, I mean, there are definitely some intense procedures you need to undergo to be able to get into North Korea.
I don't fucking think so. I mean, I've talked to a couple of people who have been there recently. Somebody I know went there in the late 90s. Then I think they were also there in 2012. That was the last time they were in there. And they were like, they didn't say anything about some intense procedures. But anyway, like, some people I know went there on, like, semi-official business, and then earlier they just went there for, as just tourists. But, I mean, they said that they had a good time.
You can only get in through China, and when you're there, you can't just, like, walk around willy-nilly. Like, you have to have a handler with you at all times.
Yeah, well, to that point, he actually...
Well, to be honest, I mean, where would you even go? Like, do you speak the language? I mean, the people that I talked to, they were like, they had a tight schedule. They were like taken there, taken here, everything was explained to them and translated to them. How do you even, like, you just get lost wandering around in there. But, it is true. Like, if you're like a member of a communist party, then they will probably trust you and they will let you do whatever. But it is true that if you're just some random Western tourist who might be an undercover, like, journalist or something, then, they're gonna watch you, but...
went with Young Pioneer Tours. that was the group that took him in, and this is a
Very
Chinese,
welcoming.
You mad, bro?
a
That's what I
Chinese
guess.
organization.
Yeah.
So you have,
mad,
I
bro?
mean, it's amazing to me. First of all, why you really, I know it's, okay, it's fascinating.
100% I would do it.
You would want to go.
100,000% I would go to North Korea because I want to see it. I need to understand.
I would go, but it's such a long way and it costs a lot of money. But, you know, I've heard only positive things from, you know, other Finnish people who've been there. Although, I don't know. Actually, one anecdote I heard from somebody who wasn't even, he's not a member of a communist party or anything, but he was just there because he just wanted to go. And he said that when they were like hiking up a mountain to see some like medieval, see like the ruins of a medieval Korean castle. They were hiking up the mountain, and he said that it was super hot, so he took his shirt off, and they, you know, the Koreans apparently like didn't like it. They didn't like force him to put his shirt back on or something, but they just say that it's considered rude or something. So that's, you know, the cultural differences.
How people people in the 21st century can live this life because they have no access to the internet. And
Are you fucking kidding me? I mean, what? I mean, this is the kind of Western, ignorant, you know, Eurocentric, Western-centric mindset. You think they're all just a bunch of morons who don't know anything. I mean, they have way more access to information than most people on the planet. I'm not even joking. Like, you're saying they don't have access to the internet? There's, you know, it's been verified that there's thousands of people with regular access to a computer with an internet connection, let alone fucking, how many people there had smartphones? I can't remember, but it's like thousands and thousands and thousands. So there's a huge amount of people who have regular access to a computer with internet, and then there's way more people who have access to internet via cell phone, and then there's like thousands of people who have access to the South Korean or Chinese internet, you know, via their phone. Compare that to like Ethiopia or some shit, where people live in like clay huts and eat dirt, and they don't even have electricity. In North Korea, like, everybody gets their news from the TV. They get the newspaper. Everyone gets a newspaper delivered to their house every day, and to the workplace as well. And then they're actually, yeah, I heard this, that they deliver them to the workplace and to everyone's house, which might seem like, you know, it's a bit overkill, but then they recycle all that, so it doesn't really matter. So everybody gets their news. They get way more information than, like, if you were living in like Somalia or something.
And they barely get access to electricity, and they just believe that this godlike,
Like, barely get access to electricity. What are you talking about? Like, yeah, there's some countryside villages that don't have good electricity, but in like the big cities there is electricity. Sure, sometimes there's like, you know, when there's storms, then there's power outages, but we have that here in Finland as well, at least where I live. In like, not in Helsinki, but here, because there's trees that fall over and break the power lines. Like, sure, in Helsinki there's no trees, they've like clear cut everything, so there's, you know, it doesn't happen, but
person is leading them.
Okay,
Go
ahead.
I don't necessarily believe that they believe that there is a godlike person
They-
leading them.
No, what I've seen.
Okay, so go continue. What have you seen?
yeah, here's the voice of reason. They don't actually believe any of this shit that you people think they believe.
But
'Cause
like,
I'm
what I'm
interested.
saying is, like, from what I've seen, like, CNN has done extensive research on this. Like, they brought in
Oh, CNN, so you can obviously trust everything they say, because they would never, like, lie or anything. Like, all these major news media outlets, they all said that Saddam had weapons of mass destruction. They all said that. They all said that the North Vietnamese ship opened fire on the American ship, even though that was totally fabricated. But both of those things were used to justify war. But they all said it. It was, even though it was totally fabricated.
Optometrists to go in and like perform surgeries on North Korean people for free, and they CNN tagged along as like a secret documentary team that was like kind of shooting them undercover, and you really see it. Like people are crying. They're like, when they talk about the supreme leader, they have tears in their eyes. They're like, he's the
They're
best.
also scared to.
But that doesn't mean they think he's God. That's nationalism. People do that with, like, it's weird, but that's kind of weird celebrity shit. Like, when people see celebrities, they cry. When people see, like, great statespeople, they cry. It's, you know, like, I wouldn't cry if I saw, like, if I shook hands with Lenin, I don't know if I would cry. Maybe I would, maybe not, but it doesn't mean I think he's God. You know, it's just an important person. Like, people do that with, like, the British royalty and shit.
Yeah, absolutely, because they will
like,
fucking lock your ass up in a gulag.
Exactly. So I would do
Lock your ass up in a gulag, like, please.
whatever. Honestly, in this situation, I mean, these people are trying to survive. Do you guys think we should use?
Like, remember that woman who just recently went back to North Korea? Because she left during the 90s famine, went to South Korea, and then she's like, oh, well, I still want to go back, because now that the famine is over, I'm just going to go back. She wasn't terrified. And she didn't, like, it's... What you're saying, it just doesn't make any sense. I mean, if that person left during the 90s famine, and she was like, yeah, I left because there was famine, I didn't leave because I hate my country, I like my country, but there was famine, so I had to leave. And now that the famine is over and it looks like everything's better now, I can go back. Like, I think she knows better how the fuck things are done in North Korea than you people do, who watch just a bunch of shitty CNN, like, propaganda.
Resources to, and, you know, we sent Bill Clinton to go
Right.
get the journalists.
We need to send
Should
our
we send-
best CIA operative out there, Dennis fucking Rodman. He's going to get all up in there. He's going to do some basketball moves, and he's going to bring our troops back.
This is a discussion that anyone who's been talking
This is just so stupid.
about is, if anyone's been listening to Serial Season 2 is happening right now, and it's about Bo Bergdahl. And this last episode that came out, they talked about people's reaction when they hear that someone abroad in a country we do not have the most positive of relationships with goes missing, and how...
Well, why do you think you don't have such a positive relationship with anyone? Because your country is fucking evil. Do you not understand that you killed like over 3 million North Koreans?
the retrieval of that person. And I've got to say,
And public
for
opinion
me,
will sway often on this.
yeah, and I know a
Bo
lot
went
of people-
AWOL, and this was on his own accord as well. This person wanted to visit North Korea, fully knowing the dangers.
And so there's, you know how there's like a do not...
Like, I'm really curious. I just really want to know what the guy actually did. Like, did he really cross the DMZ like you guys are saying? I seriously doubt that. But if he actually did, then he's crazy. Like, I know people who have been to the DMZ, but you don't fucking cross the border. You know, you don't know which side is gonna shoot you faster if you do that. And, you know, it's actually quite interesting. Like, my old history teacher was in South Korea, and they went to the DMZ. And he said, and he's totally right-wing, but he said that they were, like, hyping him up, like, oh, it's so dangerous here, the North Koreans might shoot us at any moment, don't point at them, and then, it's like one of those things where the American soldier is like, don't even look at them, don't even point at them, and then he points at them. Like, you know, it's obviously bullshit, they're not gonna fucking open fire on you, but then on the North Korean side, it's like totally chill. It's like, yeah, like you can point at them, you can fucking wave at them, you can like scream insults at the South Koreans. Like, it's all fine. They're not gonna shoot fucking open fire on tourists. But don't fucking cross the border. Don't do it.
Necessitate thing people sign.
But I'm just like, I want to know what the guy did. What did he do? Did he like start debating them or some shit? How do you get arrested in North Korea? Like, the people I know, they didn't fucking get arrested. They've been there multiple times. So, I want to know how you get arrested in North Korea. How do you do that? It's not like they just randomly arrest you.
Yeah.
There should be a do not rescue thing people should sign.
I
Where, like,
think that's a very interesting idea.
I know that I'm going in. Like, you hear these stories, and I know some people who've traveled abroad. Some of them are journalists who really value what they're bringing to the dialogue. Others are some aid workers. Half of them, I don't know about the numbers, but there's
Like the Finnish aid workers who went in there, they weren't arrested. I think there were Norwegian musicians who went in there, they weren't arrested. Fucking Laibach went there and performed, they weren't arrested. The people I know weren't arrested. How do you get arrested in North Korea? I don't even know. I would like to know. But it's kind of hard to know because they just say, oh, he just came in under the guise of tourism and then he tried to do hostile acts. I mean, I'm sure he did something that they considered hostile, but, you know, could you be a little bit more specific, please?
those who are like, I'm making a difference. The other ones are just, I want to be so...
Because it's not like, you know, I've heard plenty of people say that when you go in there, you gotta take the pictures of the statues so that you don't, like, crop out any parts of the statue. You gotta take a picture of the entire statue, because otherwise it's considered rude. So if they've like taken pictures and it hasn't been like the entire statue, then they've had to take the picture again. And like some if they've been like littering, I think you have to fold the newspapers properly before you throw them away, because otherwise it's considered rude. So stuff like that. And like the anecdote I told about the guy who had his shirt off, it's considered rude, but they don't fucking arrest you. So I'm curious, what do you do that it's considered so bad that they arrest you? What did he do?
Interesting. And they put themselves in harm's way.
I mean, maybe did he take pictures of like military installations or something? Because that, at least in other countries, that would get you in serious trouble. You can't take pictures of military installations or borders for that matter. So I don't know.
For that extra little bit of like, I'm
Do
the
you think this
coolest.
kid was like, I'm gonna have the dopest party stories?
I
when
don't know,
come back.
and I can't speak for this guy who really likes designer sunglasses, but what I can say is
Said that on his Facebook profile.
that some people, like, I need to know ahead of time what you're doing, and
Well,
if
I
you
do
get
think
caught
that's-
while you're hiking in some area where you know the
You shouldn't
Taliban
be
is,
there.
like, you're doing something that is, you know, someone's going to have to rescue you. If
No,
that's
you're
the
putting
case.
yourself in the line of fire. You're putting yourself in danger, and then, you know, the State Department.
But yeah, they're like saying that this is as dangerous as like going like hiking in Afghanistan in like a Taliban-controlled area or some shit. It's not dangerous, because so many people go to North Korea just on a vacation, and it's perfectly safe. So I don't understand. How do you get yourself arrested?
Department is required to go get your dumb ass because
Yeah.
you decided to take a tour, and I just think you're
and
totally
allocate
right.
funds to
Exactly.
take it away from other things.
That, I mean, I'm not trying, you know, I don't understand the complete set of circumstances around, and I don't know what Otto did. Maybe he did something totally badass, trying to
So
bring down
that's
the North
actually
Korean
what I wanted
government.
to talk.
Yeah, and now they're saying like, oh, even if he did break the law, then it would be totally justified because it's the fucking North Koreans. Is this like, this is journalism, people? No, this is bullshit. This is just nonsense. So stupid. Like this commentary that they did doesn't add anything. I mean, it just makes everything more confusing, because now it's unclear if he crossed the DMZ or not. If he did, then he's fucking guilty. Totally guilty, because you can't do that. You literally, like, doesn't even matter what the country is. You can't illegally cross the border and expect that nothing's gonna happen to you. Especially if it's literally the most militarized border on the planet.